us see some MCQs on principles of inheritance and variation. First MCQ is inheritance of skin color in humans is an example of. Options are first, codominance, second, chromosomal aberration, third, point mutation, and last is polygenic inheritance. Answer is very straightforward, that it is polygenic inheritance. Okay. Now, poly means many, genic meaning genes. So in this inheritance, we have many genes involved affecting a single character or trait. So skin color is an example showing wherein 3 genes or more than 3 genes are affecting color of the humans. Okay, it is not codominance, because in codominance we have both the genes equally dominant. It is not chromosomal aberration. There are no aberrations in the chromosome number, and of course it is not point mutation, right? So let us move on to next MCQ. Which of the following pair of features is a good example of polygenic inheritance? So they are asking you that out of the following pairs, which pair is showing the trait of polygenic inheritance? Options are first is human height and skin color. In the above example, we saw that skin color is an example of polygenic inheritance. Second option, blood grouping, and along with it they have given flower color in Mirabilis jalapa. That Mirabilis jalapa is not an example of polygenic inheritance. It is an example of what? Incomplete dominance, because you have red colored flowers and white colored flowers, and the progeny is pink colored flowers. So obviously this is not the option. Hair pigment of mouse, tongue rolling in human, and last option is human eye color and sickle cell anemia. Now what we have to find out is which of these are a pair of polygenic inheritance. Just now I told you poly means many genes, many genes are involved in affecting a single trait. So skin color of course is an polygenic inheritance. Human height is also an example of polygenic inheritance, wherein many genes are involved in controlling the height of the person. Okay, that is why in humans we find that some are tall, some are dwarf, okay, some are in between, intermediate heights. So you have many genes controlling a single character. So the option is first one. Now ABO blood grouping, we have seen ABO blood grouping is an example of multiple allelism, wherein you have single gene and many alleles. Okay, it's not an example of polygenic. Mirabilis jalapa, it is again an example of incomplete dominance. Okay, so this is not again polygenic inheritance. Hair pigment of mouse has nothing to do with polygenic inheritance, because we have studied polygenic inheritance in humans. Rolling tongue in humans is a recessive trait because of a recessive gene. So you have only one gene and not many genes. So again this is not the option. And sickle cell anemia. Now sickle cell anemia is a recessive trait, okay, controlled by a single gene, not by many genes. So our answer is first one, human height and skin color. Now let us move on to next MCQ. Which of the following is an example of pleiotropic gene? Options are hemophilia, second thalassemia, third sickle cell anemia, and last option is fibrosis. What do we mean by pleiotropic? Pleiotropic meaning the shape of the cell is changing. You know that RBCs are biconcave. Okay, they are biconcave in shape. But the person who is having defective pleiotropic gene, in that case, the shape of the RBC will change, and this phenomenon is known as pleiotropism. Right? So here in sickle cell anemia, the shape of the cell RBC changes in the form of sickle. Okay. That means boat shape, or you can say crescent moon shape. So sickle cell anemia is an example of pleiotrophic gene. It is very straightforward answer. It's of course not hemophilia, because hemophilia is an X-linked inheritance. Thalassemia is an autosomal recessive trait, and cystic fibrosis is again an autosomal recessive trait. Carried out several dash cross to study genes that were dash. Okay, so you have to fill in these two blanks. Option is A, monohybrid independent assortment. Second option is dihybrid independent assortment. Third is trihybrid, and sex linked. And last option is dihybrid and sex linked. We know that Morgan performed experiment on Drosophila melanogaster, okay, and he studied the traits which were X-linked, because Morgan did experiments on what? He did experiments on linkage, right? And linkage is related to what? X-linked and Y-linked. So basically this is sex-linked. So our answer is sex-linked. Now these two options will go. It will go. Because in Mendelian inheritance we saw that there is no linkage seen. But in Morgan's experiment we saw the linkage. So our answer is related to linkage, and when it comes to linkage it is sex linked. Okay, it is either X linked or it is sex linked, Y linked. So this is of course X linked inheritance. So our answer is either C or D. Now we did not perform trihybrid. He did only two characters. Which were those two characters? I mean, he took three characters, but he studied two characters at a time. First cross which he made was what? Between eye color of the Drosophila body shape, and the second which he did was between what? Eye color wing type. Okay, so eye color body shape, eye color wing type. So he took two characters at a time. That means this is a dihybrid cross. So our answer is dihybrid cross and sex linkage, right? So in case of Morgan's experiment on Drosophila, the term recombination describes what? First option is parental gene combination. Second, non-parental gene combinations. Third, interspecific hybrid. And last is mutant form. Answer is very straightforward. Four options are given. Now they are saying that in Morgan's experiment, what does recombination mean? Now recombination meaning what? There is shuffling of genes, there is exchange of genes, or you can say there is crossing over. So it's but obvious that if you are having recombination, then you are going to get variation, right? You are going to get more of variation and you are going to get less of parental. Okay, you will get less of parental, because crossing over is a shuffling of genes and you are getting new recombinants. That means you will have more of variation and less of parental. So what are they saying? Parental gene combination? No. Non-parental gene combination? Yes. Interspecific hybrid? This has nothing to do with interspecific. There is nothing to do with species related. Okay, Morgan did the cross between Drosophila melanogaster only, right? He did not take any other species of Drosophila. The same species was taken, Drosophila melanogaster. So it has nothing to do with interspecific. Mutant form, he was not studying a defective gene, right? He was studying linkage. So it has nothing to do with mutations. So our answer is what? Second one, that is non-parental gene combination. In case of complete linkage, in two gene loci, loci meaning what? Locus. Locus meaning what? Position of the gene, right? So in two gene loci located on the same chromosome, result of test cross will result in, the options given are A, recombinant 25%, B, parental 100%, C, recombinant 100%, and last option is parental 50%. Parental 50%. Now you have to do or solve the question logically. What they have seen in case of complete linkage. When it is complete linkage, then there are no chances of crossing over, right? So we will say that crossing over will not take place. Now if there is no crossing over, you won't get recombinants, right? So recombinants you will get 0%. Now if you are getting 0% recombinant, meaning you are getting 100% parental combination. So you will have 100% parental combination. So you don't even have to read the entire question. In one half of the question only the answer is hidden, right? That it is a complete linkage. But yet you should read the entire question, right? And rectify that which option is correct and why it is correct and why the other three options are wrong. So let us see. Two gene loci located on the same chromosome. So they are talking about two genes which are located on the same chromosome. Suppose one gene is located here and second gene is located here. Result of the test cross will result in what? Now we know what is a test cross. In Mendelian inheritance we have seen what is a test cross. A test cross is a back cross wherein the F1 hybrids are crossed with the recessive parent. Right? Now here they have given recombinant 25%. So you are not going to get recombinant. So your this option will go and your this option will also go. Right? Now second B and D are remaining. Parental 50%, parental 100%. Now this signifies what? There is a linkage. Okay. That is why we are getting parental combination. If there is a linkage, then you will get parental combinations. Right? But how is the linkage? It is complete linkage. That means you are expected to get 100% parental, right? And not 50%. Or cell having a chromosome having a chromosome number exactly multiple of haploid number is known as options are A aneuploidy or just simply aneuploid, B euploid, C hyperploid and D is hypoploid. Okay, so let us see the answer. Now first, to understand this question, you must know what is ploidy. Okay, ploidy. Ploidy refers to what? Ploidy refers to the multiples of or how many times the chromosome number is. How many times to what? How many times to the haploid set of chromosomes. Why we are considering haploid set of chromosomes? Because we know when we are saying that the genome of an species is say 46, okay, humans. But if I have to say this is chromosome number, but if I have to say that what is the genome of humans, okay, then I will say that genome is equal to n. It is the half of 2n. Okay, haploid set. You never say that the genome of the organism is 46. You always say that the genome of the organism in case of humans is 23. Why? Because it is 23 pairs. Understand that it is 23 pairs. Now 23 pairs meaning what? You are having homologous chromosomes like this and you are having 23 pairs. Now in homologous set of chromosomes, both the chromosomes are going to be identical. So there is no point in finding out the combination of all the chromosomes. You can simply take out 23 chromosomes. Instead of 46, studying the 46 chromosome, you can simply study 23 chromosomes because these are a pair of identical chromosomes. So when I say that what is the genome of any particular individual, it is always the haploid set of chromosomes. So in case of humans, the genome is 23 chromosomes. Let us say first what is euploidy. Euploidy meaning what? U refers to true, meaning that suppose if I am having chromosome X chromosomes, okay, then this X value should be equal to N. Now what is N? N is what? N is the haploid set of chromosomes. We always say that 2N is what? 2N is diploid, and we always say that N is haploid, right? Now if I have to designate the genome of a particular species, then I am finding what? I am finding the haploid set of chromosomes, isn't it? So if your given number of chromosome X is equal to N, then it is called euploidy, right? Now, if your chromosome number, that means your X, is a multiple of N, say it is 2N, 3N, 4N, then it is an exact multiple of haploid set of chromosomes, then again it is an euploidy only. It is again an euploidy. Euploidy, what you get is, you get less number of chromosomes, meaning what? You will have N minus 1. Okay, you will have N minus 1 or N minus 2, right? So like that you will get in hypoploidy. In hyperploidy, what you will get? Your chromosome number will be what? N plus 1, N plus 2, like that, right? So if you are having 23 chromosomes in haploid set, in hyperploidy I will get 24 or 25 and so on. In hypoploidy I will get 23 minus 1, that is 22, 21 and so on, right? So this is hypoploidy, hyperploidy. Euploidy, just now I told you that it will be in multiples of, so N. It will be 2N plus 1, 2N plus 2 or 2N minus 2. Right? So our answer is what? A cell having a chromosome number exactly multiple of haploid. See, here it is 2N, 3N, 4N. It is an exact multiple of haploid set of chromosomes. Right? So our answer is euploid. Which is a trisomic condition of the following. Trisomic meaning what? Zoma refers to chromosome. Tri meaning 3. Okay. So answer they have given is, A option is 2N minus 1, B option is 2N plus 1, C option 2N plus 2 and last is 2N plus 3. So very simple, we have to find out that out of these combination, which one is showing trisomic condition. Tri meaning what? 3. So trisomy meaning we are going to have thrice number of chromosomes. This you must understand, right? Thrice the number of chromosomes. Now, very simple, what you have to find is put N is equal to 1. In all of these, you put N is equal to 1. Suppose in first case, if I put 2N minus 1, N is equal to 1, I will get answer 2 minus 1. That means I will get only 1 chromosome. So this is not the option, right? Let us take this example, 2N plus 2. If I put N is equal to 1, I will get 2 plus 2, that is 4. This will become tetrasomy. So this is also not the option. Find out this. So your answer will be this, 2N plus 1. That means if I put N is equal to 1, 2 plus 1 is what? 3. So I will get 3 chromosomes. Right? Let us move on to next MCQ. Loss or gain of a segment of DNA results in which of the following disorders? First they have given is frame shift mutation. Second is point mutation. Third is polyploidy. And last is chromosomal aberration. Now in solving an MCQ, you must know that which option is correct and why it is correct, and which option is wrong and why it is wrong. Okay. If you are saying that out of these 4, 1 is correct, then why the other 3 are wrong? You should be able to justify. And in order to justify, you must know the concept or the theory behind each of the 4 options. Let us see loss or gain of chromosome or a segment of DNA. Right? Suppose I am having this DNA and a part of it is lost. Okay? Some part is lost or some new part is added over here. Then it is going to affect the chromosome, because DNA is a part of chromosome, right? And aberration meaning what? Aberration meaning abnormal. Aberration refers to abnormal. So if some additional segment comes in the DNA, then the sequence of DNA is going to change, right? Or if some part is deleted, again the sequence of DNA is going to change. That means this will lead to chromosomal aberrations. Frame shift mutation meaning having a DNA strand, say from 5' to 3', and these are the codons present on it. So if I am having, say, A, T, G, C, 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 A, G, G, whatever. So in frame shift mutation, what happens, that you know that the codon is triplet. That means three nucleotides are read at a one time, and one amino acid is made from that codon. Frame shift mutation, what happens is AA over here. Now what happens is the mRNA will read what? mRNA will read ATG and then CAA. Second codon will be CAA. Earlier it was what? Earlier it was CGG. Here it was G. Earlier it was GG. Now it has turned to AA. Now the mRNA will read this as ATG and CAA instead of CGG. So if the codon is changing, then obviously the amino acid coded by this codon will also be different. That means the frame has shifted. Okay, this frame has shifted. This is called frame shift mutation, right? That if there are changes in the nucleotide sequence by one or two bases, or say even by more than two bases. In point mutation, what happens is there is change in only one of the nucleotide. Instead of C, if I am having, say, A over here, then the frame will again change. Polyploidy, what you get to see is that the number of chromosome number changes, right? There is increase in chromosome number or there is decrease in chromosome number. Hypoploidy or hyperploidy, that is ploidy. But in chromosomal aberration, what you get to see is this: loss or gain of segment of DNA. In the same chromosome or within the same chromosome, one part is deleted or it is added. So it is a type of chromosomal aberration. Now let us read of the following disorders a single protein, that is, say I am drawing this protein over here, say this is a protein, right? And is a part of cascade protein. What do we mean by cascade? Cascade meaning you have a group of proteins and they are all working together. They are all functioning. I am having 20 proteins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and so on. So this could be called as a cascade. Cascade meaning what? It is a chain. In a chain, how you have number of units which are linked together, right? And they all are functioning together for one function. So here you are having a protein cascade which are all helping in blood clotting. That means even if one of the protein is not functioning properly, then it can affect the final clotting of the blood. Okay. So when a person is injured, right, and the person starts bleeding, then you get the clot formation there because of not one protein. It is because of a cascade of proteins that the end result is blood clotting, right? This is the meaning of cascade. Now here they are saying that out of this, which is an example of this protein cascade. Let us see. Now we have studied thalassemia. In thalassemia, you have two types of thalassemia, alpha thalassemia and beta thalassemia. In this, what happens is that alpha chain or beta chain is synthesized in less amount. The end result is that there is anemia, okay, because the hemoglobin chains are not synthesized in sufficient amount. Again, a quantitative type of anemia. In sickle cell anemia, what you get to see is that the shape of the RBC changes. This means this is a type of qualitative, this is quantitative, this is qualitative. Hemophilia. Okay. Now hemophilia, we know that it is an example of what? Hemophilia is an example of X-linked recessive. Proteinuria is an example of autosomal recessive. Correct answer is hemophilia. Okay. Because in hemophilia what happens is, hemophilia is also called as what? Hemophilia is also called as bleeder's disease. Okay, meaning once it starts bleeding, the bleeding continues on and on, right? So in that case, the clotting does not take place. So hemophilia is an example of cascade proteins, right? Sickle cell anemia has nothing to do with clotting, blood clotting. Thalassemia also has nothing to do with blood clotting. Okay, people who are having thalassemia or sickle cell anemia, they do have normal clotting, meaning the blood clots in 5 to 8 minutes, right? But in hemophilia, it is bleeder's disease wherein the blood does not stop. The clotting does not occur. Why it does not occur? Because it is involving a cascade of proteins which will help in clotting. So your answer is hemophilia. Defect meaning abnormality. The defect sickle cell anemia. I'll write short form for sickle cell anemia, SCA. Sickle cell anemia is caused by the dash of the glutamic acid. Glutamic acid is one of the amino valine. Valine is another amino. At the sixth position of the globin chain of the hemoglobin molecule. First option, A option, substitution reaction. B, deletion. A, duplication. B, and translocation. A. So you have to fill up these two blanks. Let us see the question. The defect sickle cell anemia is caused by the dash of the glutamic acid by valine at the sixth position of the dash globin chain of the hemoglobin molecule. Substitution B, deletion A, duplication B, translocation A. Now here what is A and B? A and B is what? A and B are nothing but they are types of hemoglobin polypeptide. We know that hemoglobin molecule has got 4 polypeptide chains, right? And out of this 4, 2 are what? 2 are alpha and 2 are beta, right? So I am designating alpha as A and beta as B, right? In an hemoglobin molecule, you have got 2 alpha chains and 2 beta chains. Suppose this is my polypeptide chain, right, which is consisting of this amino acid 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and what so happens in sickle cell anemia is that the sixth amino acid, calculate this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This sixth amino acid in case of normal person is glutamic acid. Okay. In case of normal hemoglobin, you have glutamic acid on the sixth position of the polypeptide chain. But in an affected sickle cell anemia individual, the glutamic acid is replaced by what? It is replaced by valine amino acid, right? And this occurs in which type of polypeptide chain? It occurs in polypeptide beta and not alpha chain. So this is a kind of substitution. That what do we mean by this? That glutamic acid is substituted by what? It is substituted by valine amino acid, right? And in which chain? In beta chain, not in alpha. Alpha chain is not affected in sickle cell anemia. It is the beta chain which is affected, wherein the sixth position amino acid is replaced. You can say it is replaced or substituted by valine instead of glutamic acid. So your answer should be A, that is substitution reaction, and B. Next MCQ, a normal woman Normal woman whose father had color blindness. Okay, so the woman is normal, right? And her father had color blindness. Father was color blind, meaning, say you have XCY, who is the father of this daughter, like this. Okay, married a normal man. Now she married whom? She married a normal man. What is the chance of occurrence of color blindness of the progeny? So you are going to find out that this is a normal woman and she married a normal man, but she had a color blind father. Okay, this daughter had a color blind father. Now we know that the X chromosome of father goes to daughter. That means this X chromosome will go to whom? This X chromosome will go to daughter. So the daughter will have one chromosome which is designating color blind. So she will be normal, but she will be how? She will be a carrier woman. Why? Because she is getting X chromosome from color blind father. Now she is marrying a normal man. So let us see what is the percentage of progeny which is having color blindness. So we'll have two types of gametes over here, XCX and here X and Y. So what will be the progeny combination? XCX, XCY, XX and XY. So they are asking you that how many will be color blind. So here this is what? This is again carrier, but she is normal. This person, this son would be color blind. Okay, this female will be normal and this male will also be normal. So out of 4 progenies, only one is color blind. That means 25% I can say is color blind. So your answer should be what? Your answer should be A. So very simple type of question wherein you have to find out the combination. Now see the MCQ. In phenylketonuria, what exactly happens? Breakdown of phenylalanine is rapid. Accumulation of phenylalanine in the body. Chromosomal constitution of patient changes. TSD gene situated on chromosome 15 undergoes mutation. Okay. And what happens is, since there is mutation in this gene, that enzyme is not synthesized. Okay. There is no enzyme synthesis. No enzyme synthesis. Which enzyme is not synthesized? The enzyme which will convert this phenylalanine to tyrosine. Understand this, that why does phenylketonuria occurs? Phenylketonuria meaning what? Phenylalanine, it gets accumulated in the urine. Urea refers to what? Urea refers to urine. Okay. So in this patients there is accumulation of phenylalanine in such an amount that in the blood it is accumulated in such an amount that it does not get filtered during blood filtration or ultrafiltration, right? And it comes in the urine. So there is accumulation of phenylalanine in the body and it comes in the urine. Now why does this occur? Because usually what happens is phenylalanine gets converted to another amino acid called tyrosine. There is one enzyme which will convert phenylalanine to tyrosine, right? But in these patients, what happens is this enzyme, the gene, not enzyme, actually the gene coding for this enzyme is mutated. Now, since the gene is mutated, there will be no enzyme synthesis, and since there is no enzyme synthesis, this conversion from phenylalanine to tyrosine will not occur, and hence phenylalanine will remain as it is in the body or in the blood, and it will come in the urine. And so this disease is called as phenylketonuria, right? So it's not because of chromosome number 15 and all, it's because of accumulation of phenylalanine, right? So this you must understand.